fired.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He probably hearing this night. I'm gonna get that Tyson.
So you gave it to him.
That's a real sucker punch right there. I wasn't ready for that one.
He's also nuts, right? Just the fact that he's willing to fight the two-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his prime, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand, and he's a one-punch killer. And you're going to stand in front of that guy, and he avoided shots till the 6th round. He just started getting tired.
Yeah, his movement in that fight was crazy.
It was very good.
Yeah.
It was very good.
He was really keeping him moving around the whole ring, and then
you can't afford to get tired. That's the thing is, like, he gets tired in a lot of his fights in the later rounds. You should really sort that out. Because if he had a much bigger gas tank, like if he was training with like some of these elite world-class strength and conditioning coaches and just worked on his cardio, he'd be beating way more guys.
You think so?
Yeah. 100%.
Mike Tyson said he felt like Anthony Joshua got a bit of payback for him. And when someone like Iron Mike speaks that way, it's not just casual post-fight talk. It comes from something personal. Something rooted in how he sees the sport and the people in it.
Working, you're going to do this. You're going to be a ferocious animal. You're going to fight, punch both hands to the body. You'll use your jab. You're going to do this in ferocious fashion.
I don't know if enough has been made of the fact that, I mean, it was absolutely devastating. But the fact that he had awareness immediately to go like he looked at the bell like, oh, shit. Like, wow.
He goes,
it wasn't like
cracked. I think he went into that fight knowing that was probably going to happen.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it and that he could do well for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then eventually just deal with the fact that Anthony Joshua is going to connect with a bomb and breaks his jaw in 2 places.
Tyson watched Anthony Joshua knock out Jake Paul and, without saying much, made it clear how he felt. The message was simple. That moment meant something to him. No long breakdown, no dramatic speech. Just that calm, heavyweight confidence that says, I saw it, I understood it, and I was fine with how it ended.
We're here at the after party. I have to be honest, the vibes are way more chill than I thought. He's doing great. How are you feeling?
Never been better.
Yeah, he's absolutely crushing it.
Bring out the vodka.
Yeah, we're doing great in here. Light, a double break in his lower jaw.
Oh, you can show him.
Here, look.
Science.
So science is right there and there. The way I see it, well, you'll be back in a couple weeks getting ready to fight Canelo.
Canelo in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so Canelo, get ready. We're coming for you.
And when you really think about it, that reaction makes total sense. Tyson saw Jake Paul build a boxing journey around big moments, bold talk, and calling out legends to step into the spotlight. Then Anthony Joshua shows up. No noise, no games, just steady, focused, professional boxing. And he delivers an ending that someone like Tyson understands better than most.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight plays out.
I don't know. I want to make sure. I believe it once I see him in the ring.
If Paul starts his boxing career earlier, could Jake Paul have been a champion?
There's a possibility.
They gave me the VIP suite as well. That's why I was right on the ring.
Hey, so what are you going to do? You lost every single round.
It just pissed him off, and then he broke Jake's jaw.
I told everyone, though, that I would do better than Francis and that Francis kind of got no chin. Francis low-key soft.
All the haters, last night their storyline was that you were moving around a lot.
Unless I die, people will...
This wasn't revenge built on trash talk. It was symbolic. Joshua didn't rush, didn't chase attention, and didn't turn it into a circus. He waited, stayed composed, and ended it cleanly when the time came. Tyson's comment felt like respect from the old generation, almost like boxing itself saying, "We took care of that."
Last night their storyline was that you were moving around a lot. Just
Boxing?
I know, I just don't get it.
I'm a little disappointed, but I also know how good he is.
Man.
But I had him wobbled at one point.
You landed that right hand.
I wish I had more than 3 weeks to prepare. Unless I die, people will still hate.
My takeaway from the fight is pretty straightforward. Boxing was reminding everyone that there are levels you can't jump over. No matter how loud the promotion gets, reality still applies. You can respect Jake for his bravery, his drive, and his willingness to step into danger. But respect doesn't change experience, and it doesn't rewrite how the sport works.
6th round knockout for Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul. So what do we take away from this fight? It was sloppy from start to finish, but at least Jake Paul can say, I went 6 rounds with the former heavyweight champion. I went further than Francis Ngannou did. This was way worse for Anthony Joshua. He should have walked down Jake Paul from the opening bell. Instead, he gave him way more respect than Paul has earned as a heavyweight boxer. Couldn't land any of his power shots early, didn't go to the body at all. You could not have watched this fight and thought that AJ is back to being a contender in the heavyweight division. And you could not have watched this fight and gotten excited about the potential competitiveness.
Anthony Joshua didn't need to put on a flashy performance. He just had to be who he is. Calm, disciplined, dangerous when it counted. That's the difference between chasing moments and controlling the ring. For me, this fight wasn't about revenge or humiliation. It was about clarity. The rise finally hit its limit. Heavyweight boxing reminded everyone of its rules. And when reality shows up in the sport, it doesn't care about storylines, followers, or contracts.
Broke Jake's jaw. And
his teeth look a bit removed as well.
Yeah, his teeth have come out of place. But credit to him, he done well. But I told him what was going to happen. But it just took 6 rounds to do that.
People will criticise you for going 6 rounds with Jake Paul. How do you feel about that?
I deserve it.
Why? Come on.
Because, like, we're elite fighters. Like, so I put myself in the shoes of a coach. If I was coaching Anthony Joshua and he went 6 rounds with Jake Paul, I would get him back in the gym tomorrow, give him a bit of a beating, and we're getting straight back to work, because I'll be like, how are you letting this kid take you 6 rounds? Are you crazy? In boxing, there's a time when you systematically break someone down and you see their soul leaving their body. And after a period of time, 2 things start to happen to them. Either they give up or they get...
After the dust settles from the AJ and Jake situation, Derek Chisora steps in like the one friend who finally says what everyone was thinking but didn't want to admit. Listening to Chisora is honestly hilarious because he's not mad at all. He's impressed, but in the most disrespectful way possible. He's basically saying, we all stayed up, we all argued, we all debated imaginary outcomes. And while we were doing that, Jake Paul pulled off one of the biggest marketing plays boxing has ever seen. When Chisora says, we've been punked, he's not talking about a single punch or round. He's talking about the entire boxing world buying into the idea that something magical was about to happen at 3 a.m.
Like, everybody keeps saying, oh, he got caught with the right hand, he got caught by a jab. I mean, like, it's like opening a shower and say, I'm going to get in the shower but not get wet. Listen, it's boxing. The guy got hit, he knocked him out. But people wondering, why is Jake Paul hitting him? Yeah, he's a gold medalist and he's a 2-time heavyweight champion. It happens, you know, it's a boxing fight. So when I see people say, oh, he got hit by a right hand, oh, I think he's hurt by... Jake Paul didn't have the power to hurt him at all. Nothing. He didn't even bruise him. You know, like this was like a sparring session. Literally. I think he's had more harder sparring sessions.
Way more harder sparring sessions.
Yeah, you know, this was a sparring.
The shower comparison says it all. You don't step into a ring with Anthony Joshua and expect to stay untouched. That's not courage. That's fantasy with good production. Chisora calling it a sparring session sounds crazy, but it's honest. AJ never looked worried, rushed, or stressed. He looked like a heavyweight calmly, waiting for time to pass. And the funniest part is Chisora admitting we're still talking about it now, which proves the real point. Jake didn't just fight Anthony Joshua. He fought the internet and won on points. We can joke, argue technique, and debate power all day. But if you had everyone glued to a screen discussing a guy with no amateur background against a former unified champion, then yeah, we probably all got played a little.
Understand, these foolers, they punked us. But we sat there.
He's marketing genius.
At 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah? Think he's gonna do something which is never been done. He's gonna go to the moon and walk around the moon and go to Mars.
Some people believed it. Some people believed it.
You believed it.
I didn't believe it.
Yes, you did.
What did I believe?
You believed it.
David Hay believed
David Hay
allegedly,
believed it.
David Hay believed it.
Allegedly.
It was a miracle. His shoulders.
I've always said obliviation. And he broke his jaw in 2 places. He hit him in one place and it broke in another.
I can't believe it, man. I'm back here again in this studio.
You love
this studio.
Yeah. I'm talking about it. I get it, man. But you know what? It's just one of those things like, Jesus.
Right after Chisora finishes, admitting we all got outsmarted by marketing, the mood completely changes when Sergio Mora takes the mic. You feel it immediately. This isn't playful anymore. This is a former fighter who feels insulted that his sport was turned into content for a Netflix-style algorithm. Watching it, you can tell Mora came in fired up. No filters, no hypotheticals. He says it straight. This wasn't boxing. It was movement, cardio, and survival, sold at an outrageous price. And as soon as money comes up, the argument heats up, because nothing sets boxing people off faster than purse numbers. Mora doesn't care if it was 30 million or 50 million. His point is simple. You don't train your entire life to watch someone run and call it bravery. And when he says AJ was playing with his food, that line sticks because it explains why the whole fight felt uncomfortable to watch.
Because Jake Paul had the resources, he can have a head start in this career like you did in life, and you can make it out. But the thing is, when a fighter really wants to hurt another non-fighter, he can do it, and he can do it a lot easier and a lot faster. Anthony Joshua played with his food, and I'm going to tell you right now, he played with his food. I don't think he should have went to the 6th round, maybe the 4th at latest, because Jake Paul was running. He wasn't boxing. He was running, and every time he had a chance to try to tackle Anthony Joshua in fear, he was on his knees. It looked like he was praying. Jake Paul spent more times on his knees than you did in college praying for a girlfriend. It was embarrassing, Chris Mannix.
Then Chris Mannix steps in, pushing back just enough to keep the studio from turning into a therapy session. That tension is what makes this segment so compelling. I'm watching it, agreeing and disagreeing at the same time. Mora is furious at Jake for running, but he's also quietly questioning why AJ let it go on for as long as it did. And that's the debate no one really wants to finish. Mannix keeps zooming out, talking about exposure and platforms, while Mora keeps asking, but what did we actually watch? You can't sell toughness and spectacle at the same time without confusing people. Jake wasn't there to win. AJ wasn't there to end it early. And now we're arguing about moral victories instead of punches. That's why the reaction feels heavier than the fight itself. Beneath all the shouting, Mora is really saying, stop calling this progress.
It was embarrassing, and all the people that tuned in to Netflix and everyone else, just like the Mike Tyson fiasco that happened a couple years ago, we feel disgusted for having to watch that.
I'm not going to defend the fight. It was a bad fight. It was actually worse.
You're not going to put him on. You're not going to put him on the cover of Sports Illustrated again?
No, because we put him on the cover of Sports Illustrated for very different reasons than boxing. It was a power issue, as you know. But I'm not going to defend the fight. It was a bad fight, and it was actually a worse fight than I expected it was going to be because of the way that Jake Paul fought. Now, it would have been stupid of him to go out there like Francis Ngannou and just try to go blow for blow with Anthony Joshua. But I expected maybe him to try to test the chin of AJ earlier and this fight to end with some kind of destructive second round, third round at the latest, Anthony Joshua.
Just when you think Sergio Mora's rant is the loudest warning we'll hear, the camera cuts and the tone shifts into something far more uncomfortable. Now it's not about embarrassment or money. It's about consequences. This is where Wade Plumman steps in, and suddenly the jokes feel nervous. This isn't debate show energy anymore. This is real life after the bell. You see Logan Paul looking at his brother like, you really went there. But the question is, at what cost? Once jaw surgery, metal plates, and screws enter the conversation, boxing stops being theoretical. You can argue rounds and footwork all day, but when your face needs hardware, the sport has collected its payment. What's wild is how calm Jake sounds, like he just upgraded a device instead of rebuilding his jaw. That calm could be mental strength, or it could be the mind shielding itself from reality.
Doing good. I just think my cardio, just the mental pressure of the big guy and sparring the big people is different than the 10-ounce gloves. So I was feeling his power a lot more. But it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there. I can't really fucking talk.
Are you in pain?
Yeah, but it's not from like talking.
So Jake says, he mostly was doing good until his cardio caught up with him. I think to him, he did do what he wanted, which was, in his mind, a good approach to the fight. But in reality, he didn't do a lot in the fight. He landed some big punches. I've watched the fight back at this point, and what was impressive was his ability to move around, for sure. Like, it was cool to see him move around, but he didn't do much to AJ in terms of the power that he brought, and that was when everything
This is where I'll be honest. Whether Jake wants to admit it or not, this fight feels like a turning point. The ambition deserves respect. Stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua takes real nerve. But eventually, bravery has to sit down and talk to longevity. You can hear it in how Logan talks to him, not as a promoter or content partner, but as a brother thinking about life beyond the spotlight. We joke about levels all the time, but this was levels with medical documents attached. Jake can still sell, still draw attention, and still create chaos. But boxing doesn't care about momentum. It only cares about damage. That's the part people ignore. Watching it back, this doesn't feel like the end, but it definitely feels like a pause before a serious decision. Either the fights get smaller, smarter, and more calculated, or the sport keeps taking pieces. And boxing always takes something eventually.
Look at the CompuBox numbers. This was not a very high activity fight. You could say Jake won the first round and maybe the fourth, but again, this is just on paper. I think the reality probably states that Jake won the first and everything else was Joshua, because in all of these rounds, Jake was solely on the back foot. Jake was engaging only when engaged with, and, for the most part, the numbers being even, AJ did dominate, and I mean absolutely dominate ring generalship. So I got to push back right away on Jake saying he won 2 rounds. That is not.
When you step back and look at everything together, this fight was about more than Jake Paul losing to Anthony Joshua. It was boxing reminding everyone where the lines are. Mike Tyson called it symbolic revenge. Derek Chisora laughed about how we all bought into the hype. Sergio Mora was furious that survival got confused with growth, and Wade Plemons and Logan Paul pulled the conversation into the part no meme can erase: the damage. Different voices, different emotions, but the same message underneath. You can bend boxing for entertainment, but you can't avoid its consequences. Jake showed he's willing to take risks. AJ proved he still holds heavyweight authority. And the sport reminded us that ambition doesn't replace experience. Now I want to hear from you. Did this fight reveal Jake's ceiling? Remind us how dangerous heavyweight boxing really is, or say more about where boxing itself is headed. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it properly. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing World. I'll see you in the next one.